This KFAN podcast is sponsored by Builders and Remodelers, exclusive Twin Cities provider of Elements Windows. Get the highest quality windows at unmatchable value. Visit buildersandremodelers.com for more details. Just in case you missed it, it's the top 5 sports talkers of the day. Now, it's time for Dan Barrero's Top 5 at 5. Brought to you by Gutter Helmet of Minnesota. Never clean your gutters again. Learn more at gutterhelmetmn.com.
Great Minnesota get-together begins a week from this Thursday. Is that correct?
That's my information, August 21st.
And Two Dogs will be, as tradition calls, our first guest.
He doesn't know that yet, but he knows it. Because I'll walk by at like noon on Thursday, 11:30, and say, "You good to go? 3:30, 4?" And he goes, "I'll see you there."
Tradition continues.
Yeah.
And do we have anybody else Thursday?
Kessler for sure.
Oh, Kessler.
Yeah, Kessler
First
for sure.
Thursday, huh?
Yep, he will be out there.
All right. I wonder if you'll be wearing that Channel 4 blazer that he was captured in by a former colleague of his.
And he's got it available. We know that.
They should bring it, even if it's hot, especially if it's hot.
Happy birthday, Pat Kessler, today. We mentioned it earlier.
79 years old today.
We think, yeah.
Good for him.
If I'm doing the math from his 70th, which could be incorrect, I'm not exactly sure.
My sources say you don't intend to start with the red-hot Minnesota Twins. Is that true?
No, incorrect. You're wrong.
Okay. Wrong, as Mace would say.
Wrong.
You're wrong.
I want to read you this press release from August 5th.
Okay.
So less than a week ago. The Minnesota Twins announced today they have returned infielder Luke Keeschel from his rehab assignment and reinstated him from the 60-day injured list. What day is today? August 11th.
August 11th.
6 days later, here's the tweet from the Twins. Congratulations to Luke Keeschel. Am I saying his name right? I just learned it. On being named the American League Player of the Week. All he does is produce. Couple of dongs, 10 runs batted in, 1,300 ops. And he's the energy driver right now as the Twins won another series over the weekend and now get to host, or I should say get to play, the New York Yankees.
The struggling Yankees.
Yes. Who come in having lost 7 of 10. It's Zebby Matthews against Will Warren tonight.
Who else do you want on the hill to try to keep it going than Zebby?
Keep it going with Zebby. And Buck is back, speaking of reinstates.
Yeah, I doubted him.
Byron Buxton is back from his injured list.
For the record, for those, and there are people out there who are starting to get a little bit intrigued, here are your AL wildcard standings.
All right.
Mariners are the number 1 wildcard team, 66-53. Boston, 65-54, and the aforementioned Bronx Bombers have the 3rd and final wild card spot with a paltry record of 62-56. Now, who else is in the wild card race for that last spot? Well, the Guardians are a half game out. The Texas Rangers are 2.5 games out. The Kansas City Royals are 4 games out. And the Tampa Bay Rays are 5.5 games out, virtually tied with the Minnesota Twins, also 5.5 out. So now,
that's pretty good.
We only have to leapfrog 1, 2, 3, 4 teams instead of 5. So who's to say? Our current record, what are we up to? Well, still kind of mediocre, 56-61. But we got the most galvanizing hitter in baseball right now is what we have. Didn't he? How many games has he played in?
I don't know exactly.
I thought he's averaging more than a run scored a game, and that's the best streak. Or maybe it was the RBIs. That no one in the history of the Twins has as many either runs scored or runs batted in than he does for the first 12 games of his
that makes
professional
sense.
career.
It would make sense, and it gives fans a reason to watch, I guess. I mentioned the pitching matchup tonight, so that's what's going on in New York. Speaking of New York, Lynx were there yesterday.
You don't sound really all that captivated.
I mean, I like it. It's fine.
It's a cute story.
I feel good for the fans that have bought the tickets already. I don't know if the walk-up's going to get any better, but those that have tickets might show up.
Is he already a draw?
Maybe.
Might be a little early for that.
Maybe.
Well, there's going to be good crowds now because it's the Yankees, like you said, right?
Well,
they always draw well.
Yeah, but we are, it's in New York.
Oh, it's in New York. My apologies.
Yeah.
I thought we were still local. Okay.
I think I just double-checked that, right? But
Didn't we just get home?
I don't know. Hang on. Let's get this right.
Double check. And while you do that,
it said Twins away. But I want to make sure I'm right.
Sweeney's guy writes, please keep Kessler out of the State Fair beer garden. Sometimes I hang out in there and would prefer not to get my butt kicked by an angry octogenarian. That's from Sweeney's guy.
Well, we have been known to move the schedule around so our guests would avoid the beer garden, most notably Ron Rosenbaum.
That's true.
We had to keep him a little earlier.
The late, great Vince Flynn, too. He loved. That was one of his traditions. So when he came back to the fair, when he was on with us, then hang later that night in the beer garden.
That's true. Bill Guerin brings the beer garden to us sometimes.
That's also true.
Depending on what concert he's going to see.
You are correct.
We are in New York.
It is in New York. My apologies.
We are in New York.
Right.
I believe they come here in September. They do, September 15th, 16th, and 17th. Lynx were in New York yesterday, and the Liberty found out about it. No Nafisa Collier, no problem. Brianna Stewart's still not playing for the Liberty.
How long is she with a bone bruise?
Yeah.
She's been milking that for a while.
And they need her more than we need Fee.
Clearly.
Because we've got Kayla McBride, another 4 3-pointers yesterday, led the Lynx with 18 points. Dejani Carrington with another nice outing, 24 minutes, 15 points, plus minus of 14. Courtney Williams also had 14 points, and Natisha Heidemann added 13 as the Lynx beat the Liberty again. So let me pull up the old standings, Dan.
You know, you can do the standings. You could also do, I read, I think either the Athletic or ESPN, WNBA power rankings, and they had the Liberty like 4th or 5th.
Yeah.
They have them fading, quite frankly. Maybe we've put too much emphasis on, you got to be, the defending champions and all that. Maybe they're not even going to be a factor once the postseason starts.
The Lynx are 6.5 games clear of the Liberty.
Yeah.
And the Atlanta Dream, who I think is our last loss. I know we lost to them at some point because we've only lost 5 games. We're 27-5, and now we basically get a bye week. Play on Saturday at Target Center against these same Liberty. Will Nafisa Collier be back? Probably not.
So I meant to ask you this earlier, and maybe we can do it later if we're too far behind in the top 5 of 5. I have heard Carrington's first name literally pronounced 5 different ways by national people, by local people, and I tried to do the old, go to some videos in which she's introduced.
Yeah.
But even in those occasions, it was pronounced differently.
Maybe we'll have to just ask her.
I've been pronouncing it the way you did, and I got scolded yesterday. In fact, somebody said they sent to the talkback line during sermons yesterday the correct pronunciation of her first name. So I don't know. I want to get it right, in fairness.
We'll have to do some homework.
We'll have to do some homework on it. And maybe Lindsay Whalen can help us with that later in the week.
Yeah, I was going to say, maybe a Lynx-related guest.
That's a rumor.
A little bit later in the week.
Unconfirmed.
But we're not going to be at camp this week because the joint practices are a little bit before our show.
Do you think they changed the time specifically to screw with us?
I rule nothing out.
You think the Vikings are that vindictive?
I rule nothing out. Well, and here's the thing. I'm just going to read you this tweet from Alec Lewis.
All right.
And then I might find a couple more. This is from an hour ago. The Vikings had practice. Again, they beat the Texans on Saturday. Max Brosmer with the throw of practice against the ones to Tim Jones deep, maybe 40-yarder, a beauty.
Against the wind, too.
Was it against the wind? I think it was.
I'll just go with it. It's better that way.
So that's Alec Lewis. That's young Alec. Now let's see what the grizzled veteran Kevin Seifert says, who will probably join tomorrow. Many people at Vikings camp are excited by Max Brosmer's perfect placement of a 40-yard touchdown pass to Tim Jones with Isaiah Rodgers in coverage.
Well, now, that's an interesting way he characterized it, right? Does that almost indicate a little condescension? Like, well, many people, including Alec Lewis,
maybe
are all excited about it, but the veterans amongst us realize it's not that big a thing. I'm just asking. I don't know.
Yeah, like I'm not impressed by it. I'm not impressed by it, but others are.
Others are, yeah, exactly. That's how it sounds.
How about Gessling?
Oh, he can break the tie.
Max Brosmer with a rainbow to Tim Jones for a touchdown beyond Isaiah Rodgers. Best throw we've seen today.
Ooh.
And a bright moment for Brosmer after a fumbled snap earlier in practice.
That's a second. He fumbled a snap Saturday, didn't he?
Butt sweat, you think, from the third-team center?
Might have been. That's true.
I don't know.
It's a possibility.
So anyway, Brosmer.
So we've gone from not sure we had a backup to now we got too many quarterback options.
Best quarterback room in the Central.
We got a 2, and we got the best quarterback coach, too. What's his name? My guy.
McCown.
McCown.
And the quarterback whisperer at head coach. This is the quarterback cocoon.
Yeah, it's the cradle of quarterbacks here in Minnesota.
So we'll have Steve for tomorrow. We think we also may have another football guest tomorrow that we hope to
that's good.
outline. A second generation bumper-to-bumper football guest.
Okay.
That we're working on. So there's my top 5.
That's a good top 5 at 5. Jonny Athletic will join in about 15 minutes. We've got a few more texts and a couple of other controversies to explore before then. Don't go away.
The Fan.
Rock legend Daryl Hall is taking over the Minnesota State Fair Grandstand on August 28th, and tickets are available now for this can't-miss show. Full details, KFAN.com, keyword calendar.
Gobsmacked are you, Gaardsy, by this Star Tribune headline? Sports section right now. Dropped 11:15 this morning. It's the Randball headline. Twins vibes are already improving, but with one big caveat.
Excuse me?
Luke Keeschall and a no-name bullpen are making things fun since the big sell-off. Twins fans have noticed, but they still want the Pohlads to sell the team. Shocking, isn't it? Stunning that they would still, just in case you were wondering, just in case you thought, well, I wonder now if people are going to reverse position
on the Pohlads. After a good weekend.
2 series. Like those trades still didn't happen? Is there anybody in their right mind who thinks that this team, the rest of this regular season, is, even with the eruption from the kid slugger, in better position than they would have been if they'd kept half their bullpen? What are we doing? Yes. I think I asked this the other day. If the Twins won this season when it run to the World Series, I think people would still say, but you got to trade, you got to move the
owners would get booed accepting the trophy.
That's it.
Yeah.
There's too much baggage now. I'm sorry. This isn't complicated. It's not knee jerk. It's not difficult. It's not second or third level, is it? Okay, but thanks for. I was wondering. Starting to wonder if maybe there's going to be a 180.
Take them off the market.
It would suggest there's not much conviction if that's all it took. I mean, in a given week, how many games can a team play? If they're playing every day of the week, how many games do they play in a week? 7?
If it's just one, maybe there's a doubleheader.
Or even 8.
They sneak 8 in.
So you can go from you win 2 series in a row to losing 2, and maybe they'll win every series the rest of the season. I don't know. But come on, what are we doing? Come on, man. And, for the players themselves, God bless them. They're doing the old, we're going to rally around each other.
Yeah, you have to. What choice?
And you have nothing. The cliche applies. You've got nothing to lose, right? At this point, there's no expectation. You have absolutely nothing to lose. Not sure if you guys already covered this. I just tuned in. I was cracking up when the technology-aided first down measurement showed it was 8 inches short, and then the ref just eyeballs 8 inches. If he doesn't have a tape measure, what good is the precise triangulation measurement? He could place it 12 inches off the marker or 4 inches. I doubt he has a construction worker's calibrated eye. Funny. What's he talking about?
I have no idea. I'm confused.
I'm
by
confused
that whole
too,
thing.
but I'm curious.
I missed that.
I don't
whole
know
thing.
what that's all about. Was it an issue during the Vikings game?
I don't remember it, but after JJ and before Brosmer, I was.
You mean the Minnesota Messiah?
Yeah, I was pretty much just kind of popping in every once in a while. And I can't say I was looking for that if it happened during the Vikes game.
Dan, did you see Alexander Madison had season-ending neck surgery on Sunday? Is that true?
Yes, he's out for the season.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Who was he with? I don't remember.
Miami, I think.
Miami?
I'll double check, but I think that's who he's with.
I'll give it to another couple more texts. Jonny Athletic is going to join, by the way. Brian thinks he has the proper pronunciation of Carrington's first name. Mm-hmm. I think it's pronounced eye gouger. Eye gouger.
Careful, you're going to lose your credentials.
Oh, I forgot about that.
You don't want to lose your credentials. Yeah. You don't want the players' union.
That's a callback to the Chris Brennan book and the eye gouging of Caitlin Clark. You and I talked about it by Carrington at the time. I did not think it fell into the classification of could be at all classified as deliberate. I think what complicated matters later in that game was allegedly she was chuckling on the sidelines with a teammate, but even that I thought was a little bit of a reach. Who knows? All we know is she's helpful both, and I think all the offense she's shown is a bonus. It's been mainly the trade was made for defense, and she's given them all of that, but she's also had some nice offensive surges. And now maybe a little better chance to show some stuff offensively with Collier out as long as she's out.
She's been a really nice fit.
There's no doubt. And I'm not sure that should be surprising.
No, because she's a good player.
Dan, I apparently never sent the pronunciation via talkback into sermons. I texted about it. I could again, but I'm bored with it now. That's from Flim Flam.
We'll get it figured out.
Flim Flam was kind of interested in it yesterday. Now he's moved on. So he's couldn't take it so long. Don't forget about the Jeffers hitting streak.
Oh, is that a thing? Is he going to catch, is it DiMaggio? 56?
It's DeJohnay, JG. Jeez. DeJohnay. DeJohnay, and that's one of the pronunciations I've heard.
Yeah. Do we think Kathy Engelbert knows?
No.
The WNBA commissioner?
Well, she went to, if Carrington had gone to New York, she'd know.
Yeah.
Yeah, we know that. How devastated must she be, the WNBA commissioner right now?
I think she's in shambles. What's happened to the Liberty?
Could very well be.
That's become my new favorite thing is just tweeting that whenever the Lynx beat the Liberty, which is now the last two. Engelbert in shambles.
Did you?
And people just completely pile on. And I doubt she sees any of it, but I'm just...
I'm sure she does.
And she obviously doesn't care.
She didn't even pay attention to stuff she's supposed to be paying attention to within her own league.
And she's never...
Let alone us.
She's never been asked about the Skyline dress, which is still hysterical, that no one ever has asked about it. I might have to go to the WNBA Finals press conference. I'd like to go as a fan, but I might have to get a credential just to
be
ask.
An agitator?
Well, she should at least have to answer it at some point, don't you think?
The dress?
Do you think that was a poor choice?
Has she ever been asked it?
I don't think so.
Probably not.
Who's going to ask her?
WNBA media doesn't ask those kinds of questions.
So that's what I'm wondering. Yeah. She should have to answer it at least once. Do you think that maybe was the wrong choice?
I'm going to suggest that if David Stern showed up to Celtics-Lakers wearing a Lakers snug jacket, who's the guy in charge of the Lakers now? Who's their
Rob Pelinka?
With a Pelinka jacket with a Lakers logo on it? Mitch Lawrence would have asked him about
Probably,
it. Commissioner,
right?
What are you doing?
Kevin Kernan would have been there.
Yes,
he would have
sure.
asked. I want to know two things. If Kathy Engelbert
was she thinking?
Regrets that decision, if she thinks it was a poor choice,
right?
And what happened to Jordan Addison's dog? Those are two questions we have
you don't expect her to answer the second one, though.
No, but just the things I'm still wondering about.
Still wondering about, yes.
Open-ended. Yeah. There's been no resolution on either.
Vikings fan page has the video of the Brosmer touchdown on X. Not that impressive. Interesting. Maybe it's being overblown by the Brosmer Brownstoners. Did you happen to see who was playing third-string quarterback effectively for the Monsters of the Midway? Day game, Soldier Field, national TV on Sunday.
The quarterback for the Minneapolis Miracle, right? Case Keenum.
Case Keenum. Arm still looks strong, man.
Of course it is.
I mean, but the Bears have so many quarterbacks, he can't beat out Bagent. Is it Tyson Bagent or Tyler Bagent? I think it's Tyson Bagent.
Tyson
Bagent, right?
I think so.
I mean, Case Keenum just keeps going. Just keeps going.
He's great in the room.
He might have another 5 years in him.
Why wouldn't he? He's great in the room.
Yes,
he can sling it if you need him. I'd have no issues with that if I was looking for a backup quarterback. But we've got Brosmer and, I guess, Sam Howell.
Polad pocket protector. Twins fans drinking the nectar. Keyshaw the ejector, Wolves in 5. back with Jonny Athletic now.
Man.
It's time for Jonny Athletic. Jonny Athletic. Jonny Athletic. And he's on with Dan Barrero right now.
It is indeed time for Jonny Athletic as we speak. And if you're interested in questions or observations for the hockey hater, just hit the KFAN, the Bradshaw and Bryant KFAN text line, 64686. That's 64686. Johnny joins us now via the Connecticut Water Systems hotline as well. Welcome back to the program. I trust you had a productive and peaceful weekend.
Sort of peaceful, Dan, but with Max Brosmer slinging it like he is, we have a quarterback controversy down in Egan. So,
you're stirring it up a little bit, aren't you?
Why not? Let's go.
Well, I don't know.
Come on.
Did you happen to watch the guy Sam Howell? I mean, I think you're conveniently leaving him out of the conversation.
I mean, it's an embarrassment of riches. I mean, what can you do? Maybe this will be a quarterback by committee thing. Maybe you have a starter, a middle reliever, and a closer, and just go out there that way and have defenses guessing all over the place. Why not give it a shot?
You're probably too young to remember the only time in the history of the National Football League that a legendary head coach shuttled two quarterbacks every play for an entire game. Alternated quarterbacks. Season? It was the Dallas Cowboys against the Bears. And I don't remember how many games that Tom Landry did it that year, but against the Bears, he literally alternated between, I think it was Craig Morton and Roger Staubach, of course, who was legendary, on every play. I wonder if there's any quarterback whisperer who would have the cojones to actually try that once again. I'm game. I'd be curious.
I would love to see it. There's an old adage that if you have two quarterbacks, you have no quarterback.
That's the Glenn Mason one, yeah.
So I think people go with that a little bit more so, but it would be a heck of an experiment. I'm surprised I haven't seen it done by some crazy coach in college or more often, or something right. like that.
Right.
Just to throw it around there. And get some attention that way. But I mean, KOC, why not? I mean, with all the arm talent in that room, it would be a dereliction of duty not to share that with the world.
The Jackals would carve him up. So, there's no quarterback can get any kind of rhythm or any kind of momentum. This is ridiculous. This is gimmicky. What's he doing? I would love it as a change of pace just to see something different, but I don't think there's any sense that that's headed our way or anyone else's way either. A lot of questions are coming in for you early, and this is the recurring question early. When will Kaprizov sign with the Minnesota Wild?
I mean, you got to be worried now, right? I mean, are we starting to sweat a little bit? Isn't training camp start like next week in the NHL?
About 10 days. Well, is he back from Russia? That's what I still have. Do we know if he's back from Russia, Gaardsy, or is he still in Russia? Because that's the excuse.
I don't think he is back.
The excuse is nothing can happen until he comes back from Russia. But what if Putin's holding him hostage again?
It could be. Maybe that's what Trump and Putin are meeting about in Alaska right now?
I think it's later this week. Yeah.
Later this week? Yeah. Okay, yeah. I mean, that could be the real discussion taking place.
Yeah, forget.
In lieu of and using just Ukraine as a cover for the negotiations. And I am sure if that is happening, Russo is, in the next suite, listening in with a glass held to the wall, and he'll get the whole scoop for us at The Athletic.
It's been very quiet on that front. That's all. That doesn't mean it's panic time, but it's just awfully quiet. Let's get serious about one subject before we get to some lighter toy department stuff. We had your guy, Dan Wetzel, on earlier in the show about his new piece regarding really the sextortion of young, largely male athletes, high school age, and maybe a little bit older as well. There have been bits and pieces reported on this. This was the most thorough global look I had read about it, and I came away pretty gobsmacked. Because, again, Johnny, as we talked about earlier on the show, you hear these, there's anecdotal stories that this stuff's happening, but this was the first story that really kind of brought it home to me, how systematic it is, and how, we probably have, there's not been enough reporting on this particular story, because let's face it, it's tough. It's tragic. It's unsavory on several levels, but God, the details are just stunning, are they not?
I mean, Dan did just an incredible job of painting the picture and bringing all of the details to life and treating it humanely and with the respect and dignity that everyone involved deserved. But I will tell you, and I'll be frank with you, Dan, as the father of a 12-year-old boy and a 10-year-old girl right now, it is maybe my biggest fear as a parent right now, is this age that they are coming up in, the technology that is available to them, the allure of social media. You and I have fun sometimes with some of the times I've clapped back at people on social media and stuff. I'm a grown man with a fully formed brain. Insert your jokes there. But for having kids to be exposed to this kind of absolutely devastating and nefarious activity, I don't think many people are prepared for it. And you shouldn't be prepared for it, just with where you are at in your emotional development, your maturity, and all those things. And so it is one of the reasons that, my kids don't have phones, and I'm going to, push for as long as I can to hold off on that, because part of that, is just looming out there as something that is so hard to police and to watch over. And all that, it's truly like the thing that keeps me up at night. Sometimes, how am I going to handle this? How am I going to protect them in an age when it's harder and harder to do that?
Yeah, the story is all over ESPN.com. It's the front page story, and it probably should be for at least. I think it dropped yesterday morning, and Gaardsy did a great job getting Wetzel quickly, because I assumed I'm sure he's getting a million requests, so. He was terrific in just sort of laying out the piece, and we got a lot of very visceral reaction to it as well. And, of course, it falls into that – it becomes almost trite, but it does fall into that classification of stuff that certainly my generation, I don't think your generation either, had to deal with, right?
No.
The stupidity was there of doing dumb things, but this was not among the possibilities, right? And you can't – You could point your finger all you want, but you can't totally be surprised given as you say, the dominant nature of phones in certainly teenagers' hands, high school age kids' hands, and adults as well. That this is going to be one of the unfortunate results of all of that dominance.
You're right, Dan. And the thing that I think, I'm a little younger than you are, but the one thing that was in common for us growing up as kids, as teenagers, was the things we had to worry about, the dangers that were out there were usually things that were staring us right in the face, person. And that once you got home, if we were lucky enough to be raised in a safe home, like I was, you were insulated from all of that. There's no one was getting in that way. But in this day and age, with the kids and their technology and these phones, in the story that Dan Wetzel told, it was someone reaching into a home in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan from Lagos, Nigeria. It was at Nigeria or Libya. I can't remember where it was, but Liberia, but from 5,000 miles away. And reaching in and tearing this family apart and essentially murdering this kid. And that is the most frightening thing, is it's harder and harder these days to insulate yourself from just contact from anyone. And it doesn't have to be bullying to that extent. It can be just your garden variety bullying that can be so much more devastating because you can never get away from it. And that's the thing that just is just gut-wrenching and just makes you nauseous. It's just when you think about when do they get any kind of peace, any kind of safety, any kind of just insulation from all of these things that are lurking out there? And it's really, really difficult to do that nowadays.
I mentioned this earlier after we had Dan on. Dan Wetzel joined us between, I think, 4 and about 4:35. That, as again, cliched as it is, what brought the thing home to another level to me beyond the reporting and the words were the photographs of these kids. Because it's just, you look in their eyes, they're so young. They're so earnest. They're so, green to everything, and they're gone. All the kids photographed that accompanied in this, with this piece, their lives have been snuffed out. And of course, there's the family ramifications of this. Parents, what they're living with it and will live with it for the rest of their lives. But it's just, there's something about just looking at those faces, when they are literally that new.
Yeah. And I did find myself trying to put myself in their shoes, or at least remembering to how I viewed the world as a 16, 17-year-old kid, when any problem that you face at that age is the biggest problem ever.
That's it.
And you're never going to overcome it, right? Like, everything that you see, like, this is the worst thing in the world. I'm never going to get past this. I'm never going to solve it. And so when you think of the mindset that any of these kids would have had, and as an adult, when I say, okay, I see these messages come in my phone, and I get these weird DMs, and I get, these trolls that come at me and stuff, and I can process as a 46-year-old, the importance of it or the lack of importance of it, and move past it and move on. And sometimes it still rattles me, but like, when you are that age, it is really hard to differentiate between what is a seismic problem that you can never get past to what is something that if I just am able to have a conversation with my parents, with authorities, with someone I trust, we can figure this out. And to me, the most shocking part of it, Dan, was that a lot of these kids, including one of the main ones, 27 minutes from the time of the first message to the time he killed himself. 27 minutes. That's unfathomable to me, but you put yourself in those shoes of like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen? My life is over. How many times did you say that when you were a kid?
Yeah.
But truly, that's what's happening here. And it is, I can't even state how frightening it is to think about and to try and process.
Yep.
When you are kids of that age and just dealing with things and looking at the world the way that you do.
Yeah, words almost seem cheap because they can't really capture what that represents. All right, let's try to go a little bit lighter at this point. Is it fair to say that the Vikings got pretty much everything out of a first preseason game that a team would want to get? What did you make of it?
Yeah, I thought so. I thought J.J. McCarthy looked good. He didn't look great. He didn't look terrible. I thought he looked good in his first series. Looked like he understood what he was supposed to do, made a couple of nice plays, got the team down into scoring range in a field goal. I thought you saw some flashes from some of the defensive guys. I liked their backup running back and what he looked like. I did like Brosmer, all kidding aside. And so I think from start to finish, when you're looking for a relatively clean game, some execution and some flashes from guys down the roster, overall, you feel good coming out of week one that way with limited injuries and with things to build on going into this week of joint practices and all of those things. But I think mostly you really just wanted to see J.J. McCarthy look like he had command. And I think that for the most part, he did look like he had command right out of the gates there.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say. And defensively, it's kind of a non-starter because I don't think we played hardly any starters at all, which probably makes sense because it's it is a more settled unit. So it's hard, even though Houston scored the first drive, they weren't exactly going against the main people. So, Gaardsy and I both felt, and is it going to keep me up at night a week from now? No, but I sort of think if you're going to play the starters offensively, or most of them, outside of Jefferson and I guess Darisaw, for that first series with McCarthy, I'd have done it a little longer. I'd go, I don't know, quarter and a half maybe, or not use them at all. I guess it's all arbitrary. It's all quite subjective. But if you're going to put them out there at all, because, it was an okay drive. They ended up with 3 points, so they ended up with 7. So, to me, now maybe for KOC, and I don't know that he articulated this, but maybe part of it was, hey, look, let's quit while we're ahead. He got hurt last year when we kept him in there. We got it. We got a little progress. He didn't look like he was overwhelmed. Let's just quit while we're ahead. But I almost wanted to see a little bit more of him. I think we should see more of regulars, as goofy, as counterintuitive as it sounds regarding injuries, because I do think what we're learning is it's starting to affect the football at the beginning of the season. So even though I understand about the injuries, I think it does hurt. I think it does hurt the quality of football, the approach that now has become pretty common in the NFL.
Yeah, I agree with that, Dan, especially when you do have guys with limited experience that are going to be playing big roles like J.J. McCarthy is. I would like to see more in the preseason. I do understand why they don't. I understand the risks involved with it, with the injuries. Just look at Rondale Moore. Look at JJ last year. I mean, things like that do happen that you have to be worried about. My guess, and this is just a guess, I don't know, but I think that if the offense would have come out and went 3 and out, or there was a turnover or something, my guess is that O'Connell would have went back to McCarthy for another series. When you look at what he was able to accomplish in that first series, not only using his arm and making a couple of plays, moving around in the pocket and showing some things, and then also running a little bit too, he kind of showed a little bit of everything in that first drive. And There probably was some sort of quit while you're ahead mentality. Hey, this is good. Let's just start work. I think they're really kind of cognizant of building confidence and making sure that not only he feels good about it, but that his teammates feel good about what he's showing. And so there's more to the calculus of how often he plays and what they're doing with him than just simply what exactly is happening on the field. But yeah, I mean, if you're asking me, I would always like to see a little bit more from the greener guys out there, just to give them a little bit stronger foundation. And you roll the dice a little bit with that, but I never think that that's a bad thing unless they do get hurt, which is always a looming issue for them.
Yeah, for sure. All right, let's talk. It's really not basketball season, but I do have a couple of, I guess you could say, Wolves-related questions, including, so did I see something that Anthony Edwards is doing or about to embark upon some big tour of China?
Yeah, he's one of the a lot of the biggest stars go over there now. It's a huge money market for them. But yeah, I think he's at the end, or maybe in the next week or so, he's going to China and doing the whole tour and the promotions with Adidas and all of those things. So it's another notch in his belt loop in terms of kind of a worldwide stardom, which he is quickly achieving now.
Yeah, that's for sure. Let me ask you, this isn't so much a Wolves question as a protocol question regarding coaching staffs. Now we have everybody coming back, correct?
There's a couple of guys who have left. Corliss Williamson left and went to San Antonio. And so that's a spot. Another one is one of their player development guys, Moses Ahambe.
But the first row
left as well.
I mean, the front row.
But first row, they are all back and intact.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here's it's the group dynamics here of the story out of New York obviously is that they got rid of Tibbs and they got a new head coach, right? Mike Brown. And Mike Brown, I think they just announced who his number one assistant is going to be, which means and it's Chris Gent. And what's interesting to me is I think several members of the Tibbs staff remain there, including Jalen Brunson's dad, Rick, right? And I'm trying to understand how that's possible. It strikes me that whenever, and this could be true of any sport, but in this case it's basketball because in this case you've got an assistant coach whose son is the star of the team. Explain to me how it's logical for Mike Brown or any new coach to have to deal with all this, I think, built-in challenges of inheriting somebody else's part, at least of somebody else's staff, with the inner dynamics too, as I said, of your coach. Now you're the head coach who's got to be in charge, of Jalen Brunson, and yet you've got his dad still over there, sort of looking over your shoulder, no matter what he intends. How is that How is that a smart working model for a coaching staff? I just don't think it makes any sense at all.
No, it's rife with problems, Dan. And I mean, you can look at it in a number of ways, but number one, like, we know that this is sort of a player dominated league, right? And oftentimes star players will get maybe one of their athletic trainers on the staff, or maybe, a skills guy will have a pseudo role with the team, things of that nature. But we don't ever see a player's relative on the staff. And I will tell you the other part of this that is very problematic, I think, is that Rick Brunson is unhireable almost anywhere else. Just given his background, given sort of the bridges that he's burned over the years and the problems that he has had, including in Minnesota. He has always just been a Tibbs guy. Tibbs has been the only one who has been willing to hire him. But now that he is there, and now that Jalen Brunson has ascended to the star status that he has in New York as the main guy, there are real whispers around the league that, hey, actually Rick Brunson is very influential within that organization. And so I do think that any coach, Mike Brown or anyone else who was hired and would have had to keep him, you do have this potential for drama behind the scenes. Who's really calling the shots? All of those things. It is really problematic.
Yeah, especially in New York's crazy anyway, and there's everybody thinks they should be the coach or should be the general manager of that team anyway. It's just an interesting dynamic that, like I said, it makes, whether it was there or any place else or any other sport. Now again, how often do you have a situation where you got a player on the same team as one of the coaches? But it makes absolutely no sense. So Wolves back Christmas Day. Is it the last game of the night against Denver, or second to last?
I think it's the last game at Denver. Yeah. Okay. And unfortunate, because I think, Dan, this is bulletin board material for the Wolves. They should play Denver at home on Christmas. Why are they going to Denver when they've beaten them every time over the last couple of years, including in the playoffs?
Yeah. Well, I don't even think, I was looking at the odds makers, I don't even think we're top 5, are we, in terms of winning the title? Aren't we like 6 or 7?
You know what? I think we're right close there. If we're not top 5, it's top 6 maybe in the odds. And I was mildly actually surprised that they were that high, just given how usually the odds makers look past them. So but they'll definitely go in as a top 5 or 6 team in terms of odds to get to the finals and win it.
Say hi to A-Rod for us. Say hi. How often have you been in their fancy digs, the rooms that were made by them for all the beautiful people? Have you been in there? Are you allowed in that inner sanctum very much?
We're not allowed very often, but I have been in a couple of times. It is a nice room. I will say.
A lot of A-Rod art.
They spent a lot of money on it, but it turned out really nice.
A lot of A-Rod photos. Is that true?
I haven't seen that. I was wondering. I was looking for the one with, like, allegedly he was a Minotaur and he had it up in his home. Back in the day, they said as a player he had one of him as a Minotaur in his house, allegedly. Yeah. And I was looking for that because it'd be a natural spot to hang that thing.
No question.
In Target Center, and I looked in there and there was not one there. It would also the one where he was kissing the mirror. That would be another beautiful one to hang in a prominent place there, but maybe they're waiting for the new arena to put that one up.
Hey, are we going to go with the mood lighting a la the Lakers as soon as this upcoming season? Is that the plan in the arena?
They're trying to. They're trying to now because the building is city owned. This is not, from what I understand, just like flipping different light switches. Okay. This is a major change. It's like more than $1 million to change it up. And they've got to clear it with city officials, and that city bureaucracy is a beautiful thing. So I don't know that they want to get it done this year, but whether they are able to pull that off or not remains to be seen. But sometime if not this year, I would say by next year they will have it. But that'll be a big change at Target Center. It'll be pretty cool.
Are you booked for the Great Minnesota Get Together already?
I was discussing with Gaardsy. You know me, Dan. It's whenever you need me, I'll be there.
You're the most selfless of all. We got several holdouts. Seifert still won't go. Glenn Mason still won't go. Aaron Gleeman still won't go. And leave anybody out? I guess those are the main three.
I think that's pretty much
everybody. Yeah. You, meanwhile, it said you raise your hand whatever day, whatever time, whatever.
That's it. I'm a team player. I'm one of us. Anytime I can get to the Great Minnesota Get Together and be among the people, I am only too happy. It's a privilege to be able to sit in that booth with you guys and look out at at everyone melting on the bleachers right across the little lawn from us. And I would never turn that down. I don't take it for granted. So you tell me when to jump, and I will jump.
Johnny gives me the days that won't work, which are very few, and says, plug me in wherever. Other people, including some that Johnny works with, say, this is the only day I'm available.
If at all.
Take it or leave it.
Yeah.
And you just have to live with the results.
Yeah.
But Johnny, that's why we love Johnny.
You roll the dice, and maybe that's the day that Kaprizov signs, and you get some Russo radio live at the fair on the day.
Oh, is that who I was talking about? I wasn't aware I named anybody, but I guess you did some. I guess you did some deductive reasoning. Interesting.
That's it.
Well, here's what fascinates me: we can every year count on you once a year at the Great Minnesota Get Together, and about once a year we can count on you coming in studio here as well. So it works.
Well.
Very well that way.
And the amazing thing is, this is how much I pay to get myself into the fair sometimes.
Yeah, that's also true.
That's how much
right.
I want to do this.
Yeah.
So I will fight the traffic to the fair, but fighting the traffic across town is a whole different animal. Dan,
plus, you always can count on that free hoodie that we give you every year you show up at the fair, right?
Every single year.
That's a free hoodie.
Absolutely. Cannot wait for the next one. So, and right around then, you're figuring just as fall is coming in, it's perfect timing.
Yeah.
Start getting the fall weather out and let's go. So, I'm counting on it again this year for whoever's in the promotions booth while I'm there.
Well,
please mark it down.
Before the fair, we'll talk to you a week from today, I'm assuming by phone.
I'm hoping. That's a very good assumption. Good assumption, my boy.
Be good. That's
all right.
Right. John Krasinski, John Athletic, joining us here as we hit the 6 o'clock hour. Don't go. And our texters are getting very demanding. Woody from Rochester. Could you schedule Andrew Zimmern on Tuesday, August 26th? I'll be at the fair before Def Leppard. Louis would be great on the 26th, too. Man.
Well, I can grant half of that wish.
Really?
Lou Nanny will be there on Tuesday the 26th.
There you go, Woody.
I don't know the time yet, but
Ask
that's the day
shall receive.
That he can go. Andrew Zimmern will be Friday, August 22nd.
Okay.
So I can't help him with that.
Huh. Dan, heard your interview with Johnny. Love how you try to shame the guests who refused to show up at the fair, but you forgot to call Mr. Page last year to book him. And had to cold call him on the phone. Book Mr. Page this year, please. That's Adam in White Bear Lake. We might as well try.
Sure,
can't hurt to try.
Yeah,
right?
He's always great it's always great to see him.
He just celebrated, I think, his 80th birthday. We wished him a happy birthday from training camp that we were out there that day, and we're not going to be at camp either day this week because the schedule, conveniently enough, maybe not accidentally, has been moved up to so much earlier in the day.
Correct.
That there ain't going to be enough left for us to hang. So I think we're scheduled to return to training camp one more time next week, correct?
1 week from today.
So 1 week from today?
Yes,
okay.
Monday the 18th.
So for the joint scrimmages, we won't be there, not because we don't care, because we do, but because by the time we get there, the place would be abandoned.
That seems pretty consistent with years past.
I think you're right.
I feel like you and I have only been to one joint practice.
Yes.
I want to say against the Niners years ago. Maybe the Jags too once, but most of the time they're done by midday.
Yeah, that's often.
And we don't need to go to just sit there for 3.5 hours outside. We can just do that here.
Yes, we do. And we can and we do on a regular basis. Did we get any more information on the Immortal Chamber. By the way, is Immortal the name?
It's the company.
That's the name of the company, right?
Yep.
And the Chamber, for those just joining the program, we talked about it early. I was captivated I was taken away, one could say, by a tweet from a reporter, I think from ESPN, who covers the Rams.
Yes.
And she sent out a tweet with an accompanying photo. Shortly after practice began, Matthew Stafford walked into this Immortal Chamber, AMMORTAL, which helps with, quote, restoration and rejuvenation, end quote. Stafford will not practice today. So I guess based on that timing, he was not going to be restored or rejuvenated soon enough to participate in today's practice, but maybe he'll feel better for tomorrow's practice. Because as quarterbacks go, he's kind of getting creaky.
He's
right?
up there,
and
yeah.
He's got various ailments.
Back problem.
Including back problems. Remember, they destroyed us in the playoffs last year, and
he didn't need no chamber.
They threatened in a bad weather game. They played with they were like 2 plays away from stunning the world and beating the Eagles, who I think went on to win the bowl, didn't they?
Unfortunately, they did.
So we're trying to get more information on you did. You got me some information on what's in the Immortal Chamber. And it's all kinds of cutting edge, beautiful people stuff on healing and restoration and rejuvenation.
Yes.
All that kind of thing.
As they write, it's the fastest way to reset, recharge, and rejuvenate your body, mind, and spirit, helping you look, feel, and perform better.
Have we gotten any local, is this the kind of thing where they'll come into a town, they'll have an extra, we got an extra Immortal Chamber nobody's using?
Yeah.
So we're going to tour several towns across America, and we'll just pull it up. We'll park it in some neighborhood.
Do a drive-by. Pop-in clinic.
You can just blow in there and spend some time in the Immortal Chamber.
Someone tweeted me earlier in the show, and we talked about it at the beginning, that they have been in something like this in Eden Prairie.
Yeah.
It's the only one that they know about out in EP. But they do sell to clinics because red light therapy specifically has become very trendy.
Not the red light district.
No, very different.
Red light therapy.
Red light therapy has become very trendy.
Oh.
And then they also pump hydrogen into you. You put something that kind of in your nose that pumps hydrogen in you. That's part of the deal. So there's a lot of different facets to it.
Is that legal?
Yeah.
Okay, I want to be sure.
It's got to be.
Hydrogen or helium?
Hydrogen.
Oh, hydrogen, okay.
Yeah. $160,000 if you want your own. But they do offer payment plans.
Well, don't some people believe in... So what's a cryogenic chamber? Would they have one of those in there?
No, I don't think this is the same thing.
So cryogenic chamber, that's where they dip you in ice cubes, right? Or something like that, or no? I mean, it's more technical than that, but isn't it really, really cold in a cryogenic chamber? Or is it really, really hot?
No, it's really, really, cold. Yes.
And what's that supposed to do for you?
I mean, it's mostly for recovery and pain management, I think. But a lot of people do that. A lot of, Lifetime now has a lot of cold tubs. That's a big recovery thing as well.
The cold tubs, yeah.
Right after you work out, get in the cold tub, as opposed to the hot tub, which you can also use to warm yourself up and just hang out.
A potential state fair attraction set up a challenge Kessler to a fight booth.
It's a great idea.
Pat could just go toe-to-toe, mano-a-mano with all comers. Imagine the carnage left in his wake. TP2K guy, now, is there anything to this? Sometimes he just likes to get us going, but he writes, did you notice KOC called you out for making fun of his coach speak nonsense during interview? Maybe I read too much into it. So he's kind of admitting he might be making it up, but do you know anything about this?
Which interview?
Good question.
That would be my first follow-up.
Post-game interview? Yesterday? I don't know if it was after the game on Sunday.
I think he talked at halftime.
Oh, okay.
I think going back out onto the field, but I didn't see that part of it, so I don't know.
Yeah. Let me know if you have more information on it. Anything's possible. That would be great, actually. I would love if KOC would engage that way. It'd be fun.
He loves doing mixing it up like that.
Zim, as frustrating as he could become and cranky as he could be, you could mix it up with him a little bit in the right day. You could have some fun.
In the right day, yeah.
Right day is the key to this. But I'm not aware. No one's brought anything to my attention. Jeremy writes, will you be taking a few days off before the fair? No, I usually do, but I took a bunch of days to go to Ireland. So, no, I'm not. My plan is pretty much, I guess it's possible I might take one, but no, I'm at this point, I'm kind of committed to working straight through. Are you taking a few off before the fair?
No, I'll be here as well.
Same thing.
Yep, we're committed now.
Yeah, we're committed now the rest of the way until the Super Bowl. And by the way, where is the bowl this year?
I have no idea.
I honestly, somebody asked me this yesterday, and I have no clue.
Let's check.
It's embarrassing. I know we're an all-sports station.
It's not that embarrassing.
It's an all-sports station. Got to know where the bowl is.
It's not that embarrassing.
But I don't know.
Santa Clara.
Oh, that's not a bad spot.
Yeah.
I still prefer the Stick.
Yeah.
Which is still standing, we decided, right? Didn't we have this discussion before?
We did, and I can't remember what happened.
I think the Stick.
The Astrodome is still standing. I know that.
Oh, maybe they're all still standing.
I thought the Stick went down.
Maybe
in
the
like
Stick
2015.
went down. Yeah, I missed the Stick. God, it was a good spot. Chili.
Where was that?
Right. It was not that far from the airport, really.
Okay, so it was in like San Francisco.
It was,
close enough.
Technically, yeah. I don't know if it was in city limits, but it was considered San Francisco. Certainly not like it is now with Santa Clara. Yeah. Anyway, let's pause, wrap up the show, remind you what you might have missed, and a lot of good plans the rest of the week. We'll keep you posted as well.
Man.
Show wrap presented by American Pressure, commercial-grade pressure washer since 1975.
It's the Bumper to Bumper Show Wrap.
How many people in our audience have relatives whose heads are being preserved in a cryo chamber?
Percentage or total people?
Well,
Thinking like 4 people.
it's got to be rich people, right?
Yeah.
Because that's got to be an expensive enterprise. But there are people who have that, right? They have that money. And it's the idea of, well, somewhere down the road, maybe that head can be attached to another body, but it would be the same person. In terms of the brain, it could be the same person, correct?
I think so. I've never
In a
looked
different
into
body.
it to totally know.
Yeah.
But that sounds right. Sounds like that could be done.
I think there's definitely famous people who do it, for sure. Want to thank both of our outstanding guests today, Jonny Athletic at 5:30, Dan Wetzel, ESPN.com. We talked about his latest ESPN piece on sort of trying to humanize a story that people had some awareness of, but he did a really good global job of bringing the story home in a way that, very few reporters can. He's one of the best in the business. There's no question about that. So it's on all over ESPN.com. I don't think there's any paywall to that. Pretty sure it's available
Correct.
to you. And our interview with him will be available after the show. If you missed it, I highly recommend it. And it's more than informative. I think, especially if you have children, a number of important points are laid out in it, and even with some good ideas in it as well. As hopeless as the story sounds, there's reason to not run from it for sure. He joined between 4 o'clock and about 4:35 today. Tomorrow is a Seifert day. He will join presumably from training camp. I don't even know. Well, yeah. No, what are the 2 days? Is it Wednesday, Thursday?
Wednesday,
joint practice?
Thursday. Yeah.
Against New England. But wherever he is, he'll join us tomorrow. And Michael Hurley is going to join us on Thursday as well. I think he's scheduled for 3:30. We're working on several other things as we get closer and closer to when, a lot of stuff is sort of packed and built in.
It's kind of our last
via the Great Minnesota Get-Together.
Last week of the Abyss, pretty much.
That's true.
A week from now, it's State Fair time. And then it's football season.
Are we sure there's not a permanent Immortal in Edina that just sits there in some parking lot in Edina just permanently? Or at 50th in France? Well, no, that's too crowded, probably.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm sure a lot of individuals there have their own.
Yeah, that's
I
probably
don't even
true.
need the clinic.
Yeah. Did you say the Twins are playing? The Yankee series starts tonight?
I believe so.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think
Yeah,
he even gave
Zebby
us
Matthews.
the pitchers, if I'm not mistaken. Against Andy Pettitte, did you tell me?
Andy Petty, yeah.
How about, did you see the Rivera news?
No.
Mariano Rivera snapped his Achilles in the Yankees old-timers game.
Oh, boy.
It's awful.
Yeah, that's not good.
And apparently, they think it happened, in the outfield, where he just kind of collapsed. He was grabbing fly balls or whatever.
Well.
And there was a quote in one of the tabloids about Jeet saying, "I'll never play in another old-timers game." And basically, he's now saying, without saying, "I told you so." He says, "Well, I'm not going to do that." I'm not going to do that anymore.
He ran his race.
He did.
Yeah.
I mean, old-timers games, I guess, are cool in a way. I think they're kind of painful sometimes, but I can understand a guy saying, I'll stand there if you want.
Yeah.
If you want me, to introduce me, I'll stand there. I ain't going to go chase fly balls because something might snap on me. And then again, I mean, we got healthy athletes who are snapping their Achilles. So,
that's true.
But
healthy athletes are doing it. So old-timers,
yeah.
What chance do they have?
I still miss Rivera as a closer. God, he was just so good.
And you had to have been in the park
so
a couple
good.
times. I was in the old Yankee Stadium the last year of its existence.
Yeah.
I went out there for one of the U.S. Open trips. My dad came with me. I just said, I got to go see it, right? The old Yankee Stadium. And they played Enter Sandman, the Metallica song, when he came out to the mound. Like, we're all lamenting the Johan Duran.
Yes.
Like, I can't believe that the Poets took this from us. The Yankees weren't even good that year. They didn't make the playoffs. And Rivera, and I guess didn't know that they did it. And when he came out to Enter Sandman, that was like top 5 sports experiences I've ever
undeniable.
seen. It was
you can hate New York, you can hate the Yankees.
Yeah,
but
it was so cool.
Yeah, it was so good. Is Larry Mondello guy making this up?
Probably.
It's not her head, but my wife lost her finger in an accident several years ago, and it's been in her freezer ever since. I am 100% not making it up.
I'm just trying to go through the catalog of what obscure movie is he referencing.
Exactly, or what's the joke? Because that's the problem with when you're Larry Mondello guys, no one will believe that you mean it. There's not a joke there that we're missing or that I'm missing.
And why would she do that?
Well, maybe hoping someday it can be reattached. I don't know.
Sounds fishy.
You're not buying it?
No.
He claims he's not making it up.
I like how he anticipates that we'll think he's making it up, and he has to clarify that he's not.
Somebody said Walt Disney's head is in one of those
That's always
chambers.
been the rumor. Is that true?
Well, wasn't there a Ted Williams rumor, or was that debunked?
I don't know.
I think there was a Ted Williams story,
There's
too.
all these tales, yeah. Disney's the most famous one that they said he was. Is that why prices are so high at Disney World and Disneyland? They got to keep them frozen?
The rentals each month have to be... In fact, I'm going to look that up, find out how expensive it is.
Do some homework.
To have your head preserved.
It's not cheap to go to Disney, the fan has learned.
No, it's definitely not. All right, we gave you the lineup. Tonight is Fan on Demand, and I think it's a Dan Patrick night as well. Is that correct?
I believe so.
That's
no links.
Outstanding.
They don't play until Saturday.
The Lynx got a bunch of time off. And so we'll get it restarted again tomorrow, beginning at 3 o'clock. And as I mentioned, a lot of good stuff. And then, like you said, the fair is shockingly not that far off. Our next preseason Vikings game, I think, is a nooner.
The
Patriots game's nooner, right?
Saturday.
Instead of 3. Yeah, instead of Saturday. We'll talk tomorrow at 3 o'clock. Please join us.
Go get them, Thorne. Show us what you can do.
That's all. I'm done.
Brick